All right, thank you, Mr. Roberts. We are now here at the market recap, and of course, the closing bell brought to you by True Trading Group. Go check those guys out. You can see them below there. So, all right, Adara, wow, what a wild day it is today, and what a monster day it was for me. My best day of the month, and it was really brought to you by GME. I mean, what a good day that had been for those guys. What a great day it's been also for AMC and many of those other meme names, but we're going to cover it all. We'll hopefully have Michael Nosa coming on as well. I love that we got those Q&As last week, and I mentioned GLD, and he was all over that this morning. So that was really nice to see that come through. I do have GameStop open here into the close, so we'll just see if there is any more movement here. I wouldn't expect it. I do expect there to be movement for sure, but you know, without another sort of catalyst, I don't know. You know, Roaring Kitty was basically tweeting all day, and it just seems like it got going early, and we will recap our trades as well if we have time to do that near the end of the show. There we go. I like that. A little Shawn fit into action there.
I know.
No sound with that, or? Nope. Okay. Kind of like maybe a whoosh or something like that as we go across. Yeah, you got to have some confidence in your trading, and today we did do that with GameStop, and we were able to make a little bit of money on that one as well. What a wonderful day it was. But for the market recap show, we're going to review some sectors.
Oh, yeah.
So why don't we get that rundown up right now? There it is right there, sector recap, okay. And then earnings, there's not much on there. Normally we would put Stone and all the names that are there, but there's not much happening right now. STNE is what we'll wait for. When they come out, we will drop that. But today, I mean, brought to you by some of the Chinese ETFs. I mean, K-Web today, let's just drop this down and maybe into a 10-minute. Really got going there. Alibaba, PDD, Billy, just some nice talks there as we start to have some better numbers over there across the, not pond, I guess across the world, over there in China as their markets open up last night to a nice move and then carries forward into today as K-Web. If I flip this over, that's a 1-minute chart. Let me get a daily on here for you on K-Web. And just to show you, look at this. You thought Chinese names were dead? No way. We're actually starting to break out again. And the ETF that I've really liked is FXI. Wow, FXI, where have you been all my life? Nice move back to the upside there. Actually, Adara, I didn't realize we had broke that far. Nice move back up on FXI. We've been talking about buying this one down to $25. So today, a nice little move there in the sectors for Alibaba coming out tomorrow, and a lot of front running that name. We know that we've been buyers of this name down there near the 52-week lows of $68, $69, but again, breaking now through the 200 and banging off of that $72 bottom down to the downside. People saying maybe AMC starting to run a little bit here in the after hours. Again, these are things that we expect. Oh, come on, flip over charts that go back over to 1 minute. Nah, not doing anything in the after hours. This could be a runner as well. Anything catch your eye on China? Was there a major catalyst for that?
I didn't see any major catalysts except for Tencent Music Entertainment earnings.
That's what it was.
Before the open, that was a nice one. A lot of actually year-over-year decreases, but they did beat revenue expectations despite a 3% year-over-year drop. They also had year-over-year increases in certain revenue segments, specifically their music streaming revenue was up. So nice look there for TME. Nice look for TME. We also have Alibaba tomorrow before open, JD and Baidu Thursday before open. So there's a lot of Chinese ADR earnings right now.
And it's funny when you look over at and that's the other thing, I forgot about Tencent, so that is absolutely fantastic on that one. Good look there. I mean, kind of a mixed board today when you look over. I'm going to sort of push this out so we can see this a little bit more here on the side. So again, thank you, Fabian, for that. It's Hydration Nation, baby, so everybody put your waters straight back. It's like a shot of tequila there.
Ooh.
That was a little sip. Can I do anything right for Ramin? No. It's like, oh, Shawn, no. You only took $8 on GameStop. What's your problem? That should have been a $10 winner. Oh, Shawn, you did this. Why did you punch out of SoFi? What's your problem? She's so I really like Ramin. So. All right, here it is. Stone is now. Check out Stone Co for us. That is making a move down to the downside right now.
Yeah.
So expectations on STNE. We had them a possible move today of 9.2%. Looks like they're moving 6%. What do those numbers look like, Adara?
They are not good. Q1 adjusted net profit of 450.4 million reais. So this is, Brazilian currency. Expected 462.43 million reais. So that is a miss. We also had a miss here on EBITDA. 1.51 billion reais versus 1.61 billion reais expected. Apologies for the pronunciation there. Also, yeah, the only numbers I have right now, EBITDA and net profits, both of those are a miss, though, so not a great look there for some.
Okay, yeah, and that was really the big one that we had marked down. There was Wolf is coming through as well, so when that hits, we'll try to grab that.
Wolf.
Is that just out just literally right now?
Yeah, literally just right now.
Find a little bit of a movement, but again, not a huge. Decent volume today of over 10 million. Wolf on the daily right now. Okay, kind of stuck in the middle. So what does that look like? It doesn't seem like we're getting too much movement right now for Wolf, but downside right now, just 1%.
They did have a pretty hefty miss on revenue here, 42.4 million versus the estimate of 46.3 million. So missed by about $4 million there for WULF. They also did have adjusted EBITDA slight beat, 32 million versus the estimate of 30.7 million. Q1 gross profit, 28 million. I'm not seeing any estimate for that, so not sure how that compares. But they did have gross margin of 66% for the quarter, so not all bad. They also did say they're on track to meet, to reach 10.2 exahashes per second in Q3 2024. So not a bad look here for WULF, except for that revenue miss.
Yeah, Bitcoin mining facilities, the United States, TerraWolf right there. So maybe some pushback from Mara. We can check it. I know nothing's happening right there. So before we started going on there, we did have a decent day upside today. So you can see even the NASDAQ just 0.21. The diamonds, we've seen 8 straight up days for the diamonds right now. That's Spider, Dow Jones, right? So actually it looks like we got a down day today for the DIA. So womp womp, I just had 8 straight days. Jinx on that one as we go to the downside right there. And of course, both Michael and I talked a little bit about gold today, and it does make a move back in here just for basically, let's go a 5-minute chart. Gold today, a little bit of a down push there. I like it as potentially a hedge. I did go in there and look to buy some Walmart today as well there. So we'll see if that order got filled. Was waiting to see if that closing price might step into that tomorrow. But again, gold, I don't mind this trade. I've actually talked about this on the air a couple times, and Michael talked about it this morning. So GLD, that's funny that diamonds, I said that 8 straight days, now it's a downside move, but nothing to really worry about. Uranium, I mean, we've gone over this again a lot. The breakout sort of already happened over that $30 mark, kind of topped out there at 32. So that's not moving around too much right now, down 1%. Gold and gold miners down today, and then energy to the downside as well. Then finally, financials, taking a little bit of a breather, financials today. But let's just go over a quick little stock heat map here and then we'll go over some, of the macro stories here. The S&P 500 chopped around pretty much all day. You could see here by the big technology names, really just Meta down that 1.7%. Could you get that story for me there, Adara, on Meta being down 1%? Of course, today, Microsoft and Google talk a little bit about AI and some of that chat along with Apple. But the big names today, Apple up 1.76% as we get ready for the Worldwide Developers Conference right there. And then, of course, we know that a lot of the moves today that you guys are going to be interested in. I'm going to talk to Michael about this as well. Let me hear. I know Michael can listen right now. Maybe let's go over some GameStop. I traded it today, was well traded. Let's see, not as an investment, but maybe there's some levels we can look at for some dip buys for tomorrow, Michael and everybody. And then Apple today, nice move upside. Intel, Adara, sort of led the chip names there because they got an $11 billion potential partnership with Apollo for Ireland right there as well. And then on the back of China and Tencent, we all get excited for Alibaba's report tomorrow, which I've been really liking that name. Home Depot down 1.58% today, sort of leading that group of potential earnings plays happening this week that I like with Alibaba. So yeah, what did I miss there on Meta?
So Meta, I'm not sure. I don't know if this was the reason for the move down. I'm not seeing any catalyst that really would have propelled it to the downside. It could be, we know Meta has AI. It could be a Microsoft move. However, there are 2 stories worth noting for Meta. One of these is ISS, which is one of those proxy firms, basically recommending that Meta shareholders vote basically for this shareholder proposal for a report on generative AI misinformation and disinformation risks. So basically some AI misinformation related votes here as recommended by this proxy firm. ISS also got involved a little bit in the Disney move, so they're very much aware of the proxy voting. Also worth noting here too, Meta reportedly exploring AI-assisted earphones with cameras according to the information. So neither of those are really huge stories you'd expect to I guess, make that move to the downside, but those are the 2 things I'm seeing.
Reporting AI assisted headphones?
Yeah, the information saying that Meta is looking into AI-assisted earphones with cameras.
Okay. So, are earphones headphones?
I think they're in-ear headphones.
Right.
I'm just trying to read what the report says.
Yeah, no,
making sure that's what.
No, that's good.
I don't know.
You know what? Also, too, I'm going to also ask. I'm just trying to get. I know Michael has a few things he doesn't want to talk about, but I'm going to ask him also about the XLF because the thing about this is, and I dropped an anchor all the way down here at this October bottom for financials, and the thing is that that's a huge pullback, man, down to $38. I don't know if we have this, sort of the appetite to hold an XLF all the way back down into VWAP. I'm not, or anchored VWAP. I'm not sure I'm convinced of that kind of a lower move. Not nervous. I mean, this is really just a pullback here. We've pulled back a lot more than this, down into that 39 when we did have Morgan Stanley and some of those other names come under pressure, and then we did miss. Remember on JP Morgan, they missed, but then they just said, what miss? They gapped down into 180 a dare. Now it's all the way back to 200, as if you just blinked and nothing even happened to JP Morgan there. And then Morgan Stanley was throwing something around in their wealth department there, big mids to the downside on some investigations. And now it's like, okay, I guess they're cleared. Goldman Sachs continues to look at Goldman Sachs' daily chart.
What?
I mean, Goldman sucks, people used to say. Yeah, right. Up to 5 bills, 450. Goldman Sachs having all-time highs here as well. Let me see it. Is this all? I mean, this must be right. Goldman's stacking it.
Goldman racks, yeah.
Goldman racks on racks and stacks and all that kind of stuff as we continue to go upside there for Goldman, and a couple big weeks for them. Just 2 weeks ago we were at 400. Now at 450. 10% on a bank in a couple weeks. That's a nice run. So I just think XLF. Look at what this looks like. Again. A lot of us are in ETFs because it's a little more conservative. I understand that. Maybe you're getting a little top heavy, and we don't want to give investment advice here, but to raise capital into this spot might not be a bad idea. If rates come down, what happens to net margin there for some of these banks? Obviously, they're realizing that there could be 2 to 3 cuts this year, so plan accordingly to what's happening right now with some of these big bank names. Let's just quickly, Adair, go back in and check in on some of these reports. Let me go back to the weekly chart and put up a 1-minute report here. We have StoneCo's been a big interest for some of the traders here, so that one pulls back down to $15, a decent move to the downside, now retracing back up right now. Other than that, kind of a flat kind of moment right now with Stone. So, not a huge report. Was expecting a 9% move there. Not much happening as far as STNE is concerned. So anything catching your eye here in the after hours?
Yeah, I mean, we got TMC. Let me take a look at the metals company because I know that was one that could have been potentially a little bit interesting there. Basically, when I was pulling today, I was looking for expected moves, and that was kind of how I was choosing to look at. TMC moved down about 4% here, and the expected move for that one was 14.6%, so much lower than the expected move. Let me tell you, for TMC, 3.2% short float. Not seeing what the compared was, but they did lose 8 cents a share. And yeah, net. I'm only seeing net income there for their numbers. So they lost 8 cents a share, or $25.2 million. Big move to the downside here for TMC, but not near the expected move of 14%.
No, just be careful. Again, we talk about that. I'm really interested in trading. Oh, what's up, Brendo? I'm really super interested in trading. Traders stay late, and so does Brendan.
Yes.
So it's me, you, and Brendan here.
Brendan, stay late. Yeah.
Obi might be here. Obi, you still here, Obi?
No.
Nobi?
Nobi? Maybe?
Was that
Maybe?
Nobi. Oh man, I need a break. All right, so GameStop not really moving around too much right here. People talking a little bit about AMC. I wonder if this is the next one right here. 520 up to 540, trying to go a little bit for AMC. I know Michael loves AMC, so potentially we'll talk to him about that. Probably not for AMC. I was going to try to log in to show everybody some of the trading that we had done today, but one name that we loved today was this sort of dip buy opportunity in Nvidia. We hit this over and over again, and I really enjoyed trading Nvidia today. It made a lot of sense how it was moving around. We let it fall in. We were initially going to defend that 900. Then we got the news from the Chinese, I don't know if it wasn't the government, I don't remember what reported.
It was the information report.
Yeah, reporting that there was supposed to be like a little bit of a sort of a mob set out there to not be buying, the mentality of no more Nvidia chips. That kind of came right back in. And then off the open, everyone got those jitters and sold Nvidia. But then once we found that bouncing spot off 890, we were able to play off 900 and got this a couple times and into the close. Good trade there, 904 and so. But Nvidia, really a good trade. And then the missed one of the day for me, I feel like, because we wrote this down early, and it was just Apple. And again, a shout out to these charts. Easy to zoom back and forth on this. There it is. By the way, Trader TV 20. Get 20% off any Trade Ideas product that's on the website. We'll bring Michael Nosa in 1 minute. 185. We wrote down 184 Adara. Honestly, I thought that would have been a decent level if I pushed this back down into a 5 or 10 minute chart. Like, 184, like that's where we were thinking that was going to come into play. Get this garbage out of here, down here. That does not happen. It goes to 184.50 and then takes off. But then look at this little pullback at the end of the day. This is getting me excited for tomorrow. If the market can open up upside, let's look at Apple weakness into the close to maybe buy that weakness tomorrow, because not much has changed as far as Apple is concerned. Okay, here we go. Brendan makes a cameo and now is out of here. But traders stay late, and so does Michael Nosa. So let's go over and find out what he's talking about with Trader Talk. Hey, Michael, you and I talked about gold today, and of course it was down 1%. Damn. But we're not here to trade gold on a daily basis. We're trying to invest in it as I log into my account right here to show some trades today. Did you manage to put anything on? I know we had you on earlier today. Is there anything that caught your eye, maybe off the open or some of those moves today? And of course, I was just joking about your love of AMC.
No, if anything, I'm going to be stocking GameStop and AMC for a short, but you can't do it on day one, right? These things can go absolutely insane. They are still bad companies.
Right.
You know, they're still zombie companies that are probably going to zero at some point. I just don't think that it's the move to go into day one, right? And really be careful as a swing trader, you know, holding any of these moves for any length of time, because you know, we saw what they've done before. They can go absolutely crazy. But no, I didn't really take too much. Today was a bit of an inside day in the overall market. As you mentioned, gold was down. I'm still stocking it for the reasons that I was on the show chatting about it before. But it just wasn't the day for it. And if the market's going to be inside and down a little bit, it's a good day to build a list. So that's actually what I've been doing most of the day. I've got some names on a list that I'm going to watch going into tomorrow and the rest of the week.
Okay, I'm going to ask you to give me one of those names in a couple seconds, maybe. I just want to break something down. So I was just like going to ask you, when looking at an AMC, like I just went to a 5-minute chart, then I come over to my screen here, then I zoomed into a 30, then I zed to a 60. Like I'm not getting any information basically from any of these time frames whatsoever. Like when you're this depleted down, is it really worth looking at any levels? I mean, just look at this all the way down. Like I guess I'm just playing momentum. Like what I did today with GameStop, and I came in, Michael, and I just basically, it was my #1 trade, and it was a great runner today. I just said to myself, we're going to play off of, let me put this back into like a 1 or 2 minute chart here. Let's play off of some levels that we potentially saw in the pre-market. Like my dip buy opportunity was going to be down into here into $22, sort of that level. And then ultimately I wound up writing down 24, which was kind of this top, coinciding with the 200 period moving average. But other than that, I guess what else can you really do? If you're going to play it for a day trade, you might as well use some of the levels that you found in the pre-market. Is that something that you'll tend to do? Look at pre-market levels, or this kind of trading is really not something that interests you at all?
It doesn't interest me too much, but I think you're right. In moments like these, it's the same as when you have an earnings report or something like that. All rationality is out the window, right?
Right.
Some guy who may or may not own GameStop tweeted about maybe GameStop or maybe not. I've heard people talking about they're looking at these normal posts and seeing that he's not posting on his other socials and saying these are different from his normal posts. So somebody could have just hacked his Twitter. Like there's no rationality to what's going on. And when that happens, you do have to kind of sidestep normal. I'm going to look at this level and this level. And I think you're right. You just play the momentum. This is where guys like you who have direct order access and you're watching the tape and you're watching that, I think this is where that really, really plays because you're seeing the trades. Now, over on my chart, I do have something interesting here where just, you know, for fun, I went and I anchored a VWAP from the initial major short squeeze rally in GameStop. And it's actually been a really interesting level going back. We're on a weekly chart. So this is the initial kind of craziness that happened in 2021. You can see a little bit of support right there, and then it bounced, a little bit of resistance, and it sold off, a little bit of resistance, sold off again. We came right back to that anchored VWAP today and failed immediately from that. That was the high of the day. We got nowhere near that for the rest of the day. So I don't know if that means there's an algorithm that's going to kind of step in at that level. I don't know what's going on. I just know definitely on day one, I'm not going to be looking at this thing for any sort of swing trade or really anything more than a few minutes. If anything, if we get a red day tomorrow, if it starts to break down, I think that might be a good play to punch it. If they don't have the juice that they had last time, then these things could move lower. And then the important thing to note is that we're all traders here and we're all traders in this chat. So we're not holding this stuff still, but there are a lot of people that are. So there's people in AMC from all the way from 600 down to, I think it hit a low of like $3. And we've all been in that situation before where we know we shouldn't, where we say, if this stock ever gets back to even, I'm going to sell it. You got to imagine how many people are at 600 and 500 and 400 and 300 all the way down, just waiting for their chance to exit. That to me makes this a little bit different this time, where you have so much overhead supply that I think in each of these rallies, they're going to be very short-lived, which again, for us as the short-term trader is great. I don't think there's anything wrong with trading these things in either direction. Just understand that they're going to be a trade. I don't think, and I could certainly be wrong, I don't think we're getting the kind of move we got last time when these things started to short squeeze.
Yeah, I mean, it's only up 300 and something percent since April 22nd there. So I think you're probably right. And that's why we got you on the show, showing that weekly anchored VWAP. I mean, that's exactly the kind of stuff that our viewers and traders need to understand. There is some kind of resistance up there. And thanks for pointing that out on the longer time frame. That's a big help right there for a lot of our viewers as well. Over 2,600 people watching right now. So I think this is a good opportunity to say, at Michael Nosa CMT over there on X and on Instagram, go find this guy putting videos up all of the time about, over the weekend, things like that, crypto stuff. You basically trade whatever's moving. I'm not going to put words in your mouth, but I think you've said that.
Give me a chart and I'll trade it.
Right, it's like a chip in a chair at a poker game, I guess. All right, well then I'm gonna give something to you right now. All right, so we have coming through tomorrow the big name that we've looked at, Alibaba. So I'll give you a second to maybe load that up. We've seen FXI starting to go right now. We've seen K-Web starting to go, Yin and Yang, all the Chinese ETFs starting to go off here. Ramin, come over here and we'll have a quick look at what's happening with Alibaba. So up to 88 and change. I think we have a good chance holding that 200 period the last little while. Not the greatest hold, but little choppy. I understand that. Some dips and dives here, but that's going to be par for the course with China. You're going to have Tencent came out today with a great report as well over there on the OTC market. They're up 4 or 5 points, I believe, today. Alibaba looks good down here. A lot of consolidation, a lot of support. Yeah. I feel like, Michael, it's gone a little too far too quickly here, but as a swing trade, I've been buying down here in the 70s. I think if you're swinging it, you may want to take something out maybe on the report if it gets up here looking at 90 bucks. But how does Alibaba look to a guy like you here heading into earnings?
Well, to my own horn a little bit, I have the chart up here. This was kind of the chart I presented to you you guys a couple weeks ago. And then actually, funny enough, I think it was the following day, I had to bring Andy on because I had to be somewhere, and he talked about China as well. So we've been all over China, over Trade Ideas for a long time here since this breakout. And for me, it was the breakout and then the retest of this zone right where this arrow is right there, and you had a nice move off there. So just full disclosure, I own some Alibaba, but just like you, I will be out of a large position going into this trade going into earnings tomorrow. I don't want to hold through earnings, especially with China. All the action will happen while the market that I'm currently in is closed. So you kind of have an extra gap risk. So I agree, you take some off the table. I think if we come back down into the 80s, it could be interesting. China is definitely the hot stock right now. Even if you go up to my heat map up here, just showing the stocks up and down the most in the day, we have KWeb and we have our or FXI just front and center. So FXI, what I've been watching for a long time, is this downtrend line, and we finally broke through that. But if you look at it, KWeb has really been the outperformer here. So it seems that when investors, what they're looking at right now is not just China as a whole, but specifically Chinese internet, which, you mentioned Tencent, and then we have Baba. I think all of these things are definitely the move, a little bit overextended for now, but I really do think this theme plays out for a while. So now's the time where you wait for dips or you wait for consolidations and maybe take other trades or other positions in the direction of what I think is this kind of new primary trend in China.
Yeah, I mean, I've been like you. We've been dollar cost averaging into the long term as well for some of these Chinese names. But you know what? I've learned a lot of things from you over the years. And look at this. I just put up the RSI. The last time we popped into July 23rd, come over to my screen, Ramin, quickly. Look at this. Up here at 75 for RSI. We kind of started to fall back in. We got back to 75 there in August. That was kind of the high. Now we're kind of touching back in this area again. Nothing bothers you about this? I mean, obviously we'll let the report come out and figure out what happens. Generally, we get sort of a divergence to the downside. We looked at that with JP Morgan and stuff. But as this stock goes up, RSI is still climbing. I find like this is a positive thing right here as we continue to go higher. Do we need to worry about RSI or not really because we're kind of moving together with stock price?
I look at RSI a little bit different from most people, and a lot of this is, I believe it's Andrew Caldwell. I want to give credit where credit's due. They called him Dr. RSI because it was kind
Okay.
of his whole shtick behind there. And the part of the idea was you mentioned RSI getting overbought. In the textbooks, they say that's generally a bad thing. In the real world, if you actually run back tests, if you buy when the RSI pops to
Right.
overbought,
That's
you
right.
do better than if you short when the RSI pops to overbought. Now, what this Andrew Caldwell would always look at is what he called RSI regimes, because it's just a momentum indicator. So we call them momentum regimes. And the idea is that when the price of the security dips, if the RSI is unable to get oversold on those dips, that's kind of an under the hood sign of strength. And you can see back here, we had a lot of oversold readings back in the areas that you were talking about. But on these last two dips, we weren't able to get oversold on either of those. That could have been a little bit of a precursor for a rally. Now, it's all about time frames, right? Short term, I don't think you buy overbought conditions, but for long term, I think this is showing us that they're able to push these things in a way that momentum does get extended. So again, on pullbacks, on consolidation moves, I think that's when you buy these, knowing that the stock has the ability now to get overbought, and that's
Right.
a good thing in the long run.
Okay, exactly. So great. Thanks for breaking that down. And Dr. RSI, we're going to look that up, Adair. We're going to figure that out because the doctor of anchored VWAP, our good friend Brian Shannon, will be on tomorrow. We'll find out what happens with Alibaba and all that as well. Okay, look, trade ideas. Some of the strength of trade ideas, of course, is some of those scanners that you were talking about, the ability to adjust them, go through them. And then even on a day like today, when shorts are sort of starting to fly through the roof there, you've talked about days to cover, very important things like that. So you sort of teased at the beginning with only a couple more minutes left now, Michael. Was there a name or something potentially that's caught your eye that some of our traders could look at over the next couple days on this kind of theme? Because I feel like that's what most are waiting for here.
So I'm going to go to a scan that Steve actually just gave me before I got on here in our Slack, this lower heat map that I have.
All right.
And again, one thing we do great at Trade Ideas, ever since I saw the Carvana move, the last couple times I've been on, I've been talking different short float stocks, different short float scans that we have. This is one that Steve's looking at as well. And it's essentially, we're looking at high short float, and we're looking at high short float on names that haven't gone yet. Because if this craziness is going to continue, you imagine it's going to trickle down. Remember the initial short squeeze with GameStop? First it was GameStop, and then everyone forgot about GameStop, and then it was BlackBerry and Nokia, and it went down the list. And eventually it was anything that had a high short float percentage. Anytime it would move, it's going to look to buy. So there's a couple names that are interesting to me. One here is Wayfair.
Yep.
As kind of boring as this name is, but this is a nice long term. It's a nice consolidation, has nice strength off of earnings. We have a 22% short float going on here. That one looks really, really good. Beyond Meat, as much as I don't think I'd ever eat what they put out, it 41% short float in 8 days
Crazy.
to cover.
Yeah.
So this is what I'm going to be doing a lot of tonight, is going down this list and saying, okay, what hasn't moved yet? I'm going to be setting alerts for high short float names that have clear areas of support or resistance to get through that haven't moved, and then watching those like a hawk tomorrow. I think every trader on earth is going to have a list of high short float names, so there should be some momentum if these things can break key levels.
Yeah, we'll look out for that Beyond Meat. I really like that, Colin. Come over to my chart here, Michael. Look at this. This is exactly a Michael Nosa breakdown chart I've learned. There's the smiley face. There's the top break. There's Riley, and she goes higher. Riley, B. Riley Financial. Thank you, Michael, for coming through again today. Now 4:31. I've kept you way too long, but the respect that you're getting in the chat, I mean, I just want to say thank you again for coming through. Everybody can use Trader TV 20 there at Trade Ideas. They can go hit you up. Any questions about any of the scans, I'm sure you'll be more than happy to help them out as well. So thank you so much, Michael Nosa, for joining us one more time. Have a great evening.
Awesome. I'll talk to you guys later in the week.
Ciao, ciao, ciao. That's Trader Talk, baby. All right, that's Trader Talk. And I mean, again, we love that kind of stuff, right? Whenever you could talk to Michael about opportunities like that, and especially on such an important day where I feel like scanning is always important, but especially on a day like today where it was like, you were bringing us news. Oh, cost is going higher now, or, oh, guys, guess what? BlackBerry time. So, you know, you got to really be sort of focused on what you're trying to do. And I feel like with those scans, you can really zone in on all of that. All right, what's up with the sticky note here? We'll go over to the next topic real quick. I'm not going to, I mean, we just reviewed GameStop and Nvidia, and we're going a little bit over time. So I just want to go over this real quick because what's up with the sticky note today? Look, we had Apple written on there as a long 104. I actually really like that play, but it just didn't have an opportunity today to get down there. We got to 184.50. GameStop long 22. We broke down some of those levels. This was my number one net stock, but so was Nvidia. They were just minutes away or dollars away from each other. 900 long dip buys. We really found the levels on Nvidia, and we're able to hit that being very patient. We nailed the Alibaba long, but unfortunately, it only dipped into 82.50, something like that. We'll have another look. And then ARM didn't really get going. But today, sticky note, just being disciplined with it all allowed us to make some really great trades today. So I feel like that was pretty important. Just to look down here quickly for Nvidia, this was what our day looked like, because we will review a little bit. Once that level broke in the pre-market, we still said, let's try 900. We got that China news. Once we broke back, then we started using 900 as support. And when that happened, then everything just sort of happened for us. So we just reviewed the sticky note. We said, we like 900. Let's stick with it until it breaks lower. Give ourselves like $2, $3 worth of room. And we're able to make like right there. That's off VWAP under 900. I'm taking that all day. 898. And then there's the out there 906.50. So that was really great. And then being able to have confidence early on as well. Just in GameStop. Like, honestly, I sat down at 830. This is an 830 long. Right there, like look at these moves. Like it was just really great. That's $8, and we're just like, what is exactly happening? We're able to get out there on the break. We're still long from down here. Get another one on a VWAP break at 29. Buy 29s again. Outrate even here at $31. I know, Adara, that today for you on GameStop was a little bit back and forth, but you explained what happened, and I think this is the thing that I want to tell you about. Is that GameStop is just a stock.
It is. Yeah.
So at the end of the day, despite it moving around like that, what you have to do is, and you said that you fat finger trade, so let's go on the two shock just quickly and then we'll wrap this thing up in a minute. I'm going to do roll call. Basically, you just have to slow down. It's like you were long and then you tried to get out and then you wound up going shorter. You added to your long.
I added to my long.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think it's because you're like thinking to yourself, oh my God, this is the first time I'm live. Like I've never seen a stock move 90% or whatever it was at the time. And it was GameStop. So, but you probably didn't make any other keystrokes all day. Errors.
I actually did.
Oops.
This was a repeat. I'm going to be honest too. I think part of why as well, we had the whole shutdown situation is because I had an earlier fat finger on Tesla, where I did ironically the same thing I did in GME. As I had
where is your buy key?
I actually have them opposite. I think the issue was I go short. That's the really funny part.
I can't help you.
I go short more often lately. So I think when I'm long, my brain thinks, oh, to get out, you have to buy. But it's like that's not how it works when you're long, Adara. So I just need to get my brain on straight.
Who's here? All All right, let's do roll call. No, I think that's an important point. I mean, you nailed it. That's all.
Thank
I mean,
you.
when you're seeing something happening in front of you, you do have to react, and sometimes it is tough to like make, here we go. Are we getting a little bit of a movement? Yes, we are.
Oh my
In
gosh.
GameStop, trying to go again, man, up to 32.30 again, starting to go in the aftermarket. We talked about that. The levels really dry up. So, and there's no halts. So if this thing goes to 40, generally the market would halt, let everybody slow down. But now you'll just keep on pumping to the upside. I don't know if it's going to happen, but there goes GameStop as well. All right, where did I put that little roll call thing? Let's see who's here. My voice about to go, so we'll do this real quick. There it is, NYC. You hit that right, Urbanista. NYC, no halt in after hours, so the memes can run. Bang, good call on that one. Hey, what's up, Hugh? What's up, Bears vs. Bulls? Thank you so much, Bears vs. Bulls, for all that you're doing, man. It means a lot to us, especially these days. What's up to Mauricio as well, RIVN Millionaire. You know what's good, man. Everybody that's watching knows what's good. That's all I can say right now. Bora Hout is here as well. AMC ripping. Shadera, we like that name as well. We'll have some Shawnfidence and some Shadera here on the Market Recap Show. And we are staying late. That's what we're doing, man. That's what we're doing. We're staying late. Hey, what's up to Rich Naples, the boring man? Q Daddy. Christopher Holcomb is here as well. Dewey is here. Sebastian is here. Woo, we only have swimming today. We've had to, there it is. We are confident about some of our trades, and we'll be back tomorrow. We have swimming lessons again because my kids have missed so many. They were at swimming lessons yesterday and again today because they've missed so much because they've been so active with everything else. So that's okay. 6 to 7 o'clock. I don't mind swimming lessons. The problem is like, you know, they get in the water. I'm sitting there. It's humid you know, me and my wife are like, what are we even doing here? So sometimes we'll go out for a walk because you don't get to see that much. Oh, great, my son knows how to do the backstroke. Like, it's not competitive swimming. It's like get the badges so you can level up. And then eventually they kind of want to both do, well, at least my son does. I thought it was a wicked summer job. Yeah, a lifeguard. Yeah. You get to chill out. You get to see some nice scenery, if you know what I'm saying. You get to sit back. Lifeguard. Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, hopefully you don't have to use your skills too often.
Fingers crossed.
Right.
Yeah. If all goes according to plan.
And then you're not the only lifeguard. There's other lifeguards, but there's responsibility there. My cousins were lifeguards and absolutely loved it. So, all right, Miss Adara, thank you for staying late.
Thank you for having me. I'm always happy to be here.
Get all that sleep.
Oh yeah.
We'll get those trades figured out for tomorrow. I want to thank Ramin on the ones and twos there. Although today she's not wearing slippers. She's got like Miss Fancy shoes on over there.
Well, yeah, she's got cute little flats there.
Yeah, what's up with that? Thank you to Ramin for staying late. Thanks to Brendan's head for making an appearance. That was really cool. I want to give a big thank you to my guy, Michael Nosa, as well. And of course, a thank you to you, Adara, for standing beside me here. So from everybody here at Trader TV Live, go find me at Trader TV Shawn. Go find her at Trader TV Adara, and we will join you tomorrow at 8:30 right here at Trader TV Live. Until then, have a fantastic evening, and I guess go GME.